confrontation will never take place. Taiwanese are not expecting the Americans to engage in a war for Taiwan. We're not expecting that. But we're expecting the Americans to be strong and present in this region so that a war won't have to happen.
For the moment, the US military is still strong and present. 1,000 miles across the sea is the home of the US 7th Fleet, the mightiest fleet in Asia. A friendless nation in the aftermath of World War II, Japan renounced militarism, but it could not remain defenseless. By 1960, from an occupied country, Japan became a US ally. While small Taiwan could never rival China in military spending, Japan is the third largest economy in the world and one of the most technologically advanced countries. Why is America paying for their defense?
When you look at the opinion poll, you would be amazed how much Japanese public trust US presence here. It has been consistently about 70% support. Why do you think we have such a high support?
While the Japanese spend less than 1% of their GDP on their defense, the US taxpayers fund the upkeep of 3 Army, 3 Air Force, 4 Navy, and 13 Marine bases on Japanese soil. When asked to help in Iraq, Japan sent only 600 soldiers, and even those were not allowed to engage in combat.
Japan has got a very good Navy and a very good Air Force using our aircraft, I believe it's the F-15. And they're good pilots and they're good seamen.
They call themselves the Self-Defense Forces. Right? They have a huge Navy. They have Aegis-class destroyers. They have some of the most advanced fighters in the world, fighter jets. Japan can take care of itself in many ways.
Indeed, Japan has a lot of modern weapons, with the exception of one. Affected by the tragedy of World War II, Japan vowed never to possess nuclear weapons, and even sought the abolition of such means of destruction from the world. So what would happen should the United States leave this alliance and bring home the 50,000 troops it currently devotes to the defense of Japan?
If US abruptly withdraws military presence from the Japanese islands, then we'll spend the next 10 years rearming in a very serious way, suddenly including acquiring nuclear capability.
But if the Koreans have nuclear weapons, Chinese already have nuclear weapons, the Russians who are in the region have nuclear weapons, the Japanese are not remaining non-nuclear.
If Japanese go nuclear, do you think the Chinese can put up with that?
Japanese attitude to China has turned sour, and it works vice versa. Chinese public has turned sour to Japan.
Japan is different from Germany. Japan did not really show any remorse of its past aggression against the Asian countries.
Japan has expressed its remorse to China many times over. Our emperor and empress visited China and expressed their remorse.
I don't like anything the Japanese to do before they really apologize to us, to show their sincere remorse.
China replaced communism with patriotism, and Japan is a very easy target.
ある程度介入で口出しをしてもいいかな、大丈夫かなと思うようなところが中国にはまだあります。これは古い彼らの思想が外交面に反映しているからなんです。外交的な手法についても少し日本人はついてきなさいというスタイルは日本ではあまり受け入れられないと思います。
And the Chinese are in payback mode. They profoundly feel
that they were on the wrong end of the 20th century and they're going to be on the right end of the 21st century. I think their long-term objective is unquestionably hegemony in East Asia, and that must imply a subordination of Japan. It can't mean anything else. If the United States isn't there, Japan has to choose. Either it simply accepts subordination, or it has to become a military equal of China.
Should the US leave this region, it is possible that China will gracefully accept Japan's rearmament. But what could happen if they don't?